Good morning, students. How are you all? Fine. Okay, very good. Must be fine. Students, now is the session of economics. As usually, it happens every day at this time. Okay. In yesterday online class, I had started the new chapter, money and banking. Okay. And while interacting with you, I had discussed much about the meaning and types of exchange. Okay. Already we know that exchange is an economic activity through which the goods and services are transferred from their producers to their users either in lieu of other goods or service or money. This is called exchange. That means exchange is a link between production and consumption. Okay, already we have discussed this. This exchange is of the two types. One is called barter system of exchange and other is called monetary system of exchange. Okay. What happens in barter system of exchange we have discussed. It is the exchange of goods for goods. What happens in the monetary system of exchange we have seen. Okay, goods exchange of goods for money and exchange of money for goods. Okay, the barter system that was prevailing all over the world before a longer period, and it prevailed for a longer period of time because during those days the economic activities of the people were very limited and confined to the village level. The people used to produce themselves whatever they needed and they used to exchange among themselves. There was no economic interdependence and economic connectivity. So this barter system was in practice because the needs were limited. Needs of the people were limited. Economic activities were very limited and confined. But later on, when economic activities of the people expanded to a larger extent and the production also started to take place at larger level, the concept of market came into being. So many shortcomings of barter system were started to be realized by the people, such as in the barter system, the main shortcoming is the lack of double coincidence of bonds. The second shortcoming is lack of proper measurement of value. The third shortcoming is difficulty in storage of value. The fourth shortcoming is a difficulty in making deferred payment. These were the major shortcomings of the barter system. Therefore, a common medium of exchange was invented, that is called money. Okay. So, in today's class, let us discuss the meaning and functions of money. Okay. Let us first define what is called money. You know, students, there is a saying in economics that it is as difficult to define money as to define colors. In fact, it is very difficult to define money because money does not perform only one but a multiple of functions. And day by day, the importance of money is increasing. However, money has been defined on the basis of the functions it performs in the economy. Hartree, a famous economist, has said that money is what money does. That means money is anything which performs the functions of money. Then it is important to know what are the functions which are performed by money. Then money basically performs the four basic functions, the four main functions as the function of medium of exchange, the function of measure of value, the function of the store of value, the function of the standard of deferred payment, etc. These are the four main functions of money. But you know, there are so many other functions of money also. Money does not perform only these four functions, rather so many other functions are performed by it in the economy, due to which a lot of economic activities are performed very smoothly and successfully. How? We shall discuss these things in coming topics. Okay? Let us first define, let us give a general definition to money. How can you define? You can define it in the form of a rhyme as: money is the matter of functions for a medium, a measure, a standard, a store. A medium of what? A medium of exchange. A measure of what? A measure of the value of a commodity. A store of what? A store of the value. And a standard of what? A standard of the deferred payment. Okay? So, money is the matter of functions for a medium, a measure, a standard, and a store. And since several other functions are also performed by money along with these four basic functions, therefore economists have classified all the functions of money into the three categories called primary functions, secondary functions, and other functions or contingent functions. Okay? And now we shall discuss the primary functions as well as secondary or other functions in detail one by one. Okay? So long as the primary functions of money are concerned, these are of the two types. The first function of money is to act as a medium of exchange, and the second important primary function is to measure the value of a commodity. Okay, let us first discuss money as a medium of exchange. Okay, now students, during barter system of exchange, there was no common medium of exchange. And people in fact used to exchange the goods and services for other goods and services, which led to a lot of problems, and the main difficulty that people used to face that time was the lack of double coincidence of wants. Okay, due to which many a times the exchanges would not have taken place. Okay, the people, most of the needs of the people remained unsatisfied. Okay, because there was no common medium of exchange. But what happened later on with the invention of money, and people since accepted it as money as a common medium of exchange, then now it has become very easy to make any kind of exchange anywhere between any two persons anytime. How? Suppose you are having some money with you. You are in need of something. You know where it can be, or from where it can be obtained. You go to that place or you go to that person, simply you pay your money and take the commodity whatever you are in need of. Okay? So the exchange has now become very easy. In fact, this function of money, this medium of exchange function of money has separated the sale and purchase activity that used to happen simultaneously during the barter system of exchange. The person who was selling something was buying also, and the person who was buying something was selling also. But with the invention of money, selling takes place at different time and buying takes place at different time. One who sells receives money instead of it, and by receiving money, that person can spend this money later on or purchase something later on. So this medium of exchange function of money has separated the sale and purchase activities of the people. Okay, students, with the introduction of money as common medium of exchange, it is supposed to be common medium of exchange. Why? Because it is widely accepted by all as a medium of exchange, and second, normally it happens to be legal tender. Therefore, it is accepted and it is used as a common medium of exchange. Right? Students, because of this medium of exchange function of money, the economic activities of the people have been continuously increasing, okay, up to larger scale. And because of this function of money, the concept of market in fact is originated, okay. In fact, the exchange, monetary exchange, takes place through the mechanism of market. Okay, so because the exchanges now, all sorts of exchanges, larger exchanges, smaller exchanges have now become feasible, practically possible. Therefore, it has prompted to larger production. It has promoted larger production in the economy, which ultimately helps in creating employment opportunities and generating income. This is the positive impact of this medium of exchange function of money, number one. Number two, the second important primary function is the measurement of value. Okay, students, during barter system, it was very difficult to measure the value of any commodity. In fact, one always had to be loser, because the value of one commodity happened to be higher than the value of another commodity in terms of which this commodity was being exchanged. So the accurate and appropriate measurement of the value of a commodity was not possible during barter system. Okay, when exchange used to take place between the two persons, then certainly one person had to be loser. Okay, but what has happened now with the invention of money? It has become practically possible to measure the value of anything up to any extent. Why? Because money is based on arithmetical numbers, and the value can now be divided into any number, because money is used as numbers. It is based on arithmetical numbers. So the proper valuation of a commodity has now become possible with the invention of money. Now in any kind of transaction may take place very easily, because the value, the commodity can be valued very easily in terms of money. This valuation was not appropriate and accurate during the barter system of exchange. Okay, we have understood that money helps in measuring the value of a commodity or value of anything. Okay, now what are the benefits of this function? Because of this function of money, now it has become possible to construct the cost of living index, consumer price index or wholesale price index you can construct, only because of the existence of money. And since the things can be valued in terms of money, therefore it can be easily estimated what is the cost of living of the people. Okay, The second important benefit of this function is that money has helped in estimating the GDP of a country. Okay, now we can easily say what is the GDP of our country, and GDP reflects what? GDP shows what? GDP reflects the economic potential of that country. GDP reflects the availability of goods and services to the people in an economy. So, because of the measurement of value function of money, it has now become possible to estimate GDP as well as to estimate cost of living, as well as several other things have now become possible. Okay, so these are the two main primary functions of money. Now let us discuss and see the other secondary functions of money. Students, the number one first secondary function is the store of value. How to store the value? It was very difficult during barter system. Why? Because valuation was done in terms of commodity. So even if the people wished to store the value, wished to accumulate wealth, to store the wealth, then beyond a limit it was very difficult during the barter system. You cannot keep the kinds stored for a longer period of time. Okay, they are perishable. There is a maintenance cost also. It will need a lot of space to store with safety and security. So storing the value, storing the wealth during barter system was difficult. Now what has happened with the invention of money? You can store the value, your wealth up to any extent in a very simple financial document in the form of national savings certificate or fixed deposit receipt. Also you can store the value, the wealth up to any extent, any limit. Okay, why it is so? Because money has been invented. So you can say, because of the invention of money, it has now become possible for the people to store the value or to store wealth up to larger extent. Okay, what has happened? What is the positive consequence of this function of money? Do you know? Only because of this store function of money, a store of value function of money, people started to save a part of their income. Okay, and just whatever they used to save, this helped in capital formation of the country. If saving takes place at larger scale, that means larger will be the capital formation in the country. Saving means what? Capital formation. Capital formation means what? Saving. And if there are larger savings in the economy, certainly there will be larger investments leading to generation of more employment and leading to increase in more income. Okay, so because of this store of value function of money, the capital formation and investment in the economy has become possible, which ultimately promotes economic growth. Okay, the next important secondary function of money is that it can be used as a standard of deferred payment. Now students, already what is called deferred payment? Any such a payment which is deferred for future on a specific time or date is called deferred payment. Okay, means the payment which is deferred for the future, which has to be made in future, is called deferred payment. How difficult was this deferred payment during barter system? Already we have seen. If something I take from you with a promise that I will return it on a particular day, But if that particular day comes, I am not having the same commodity which I had taken from you, then the payment cannot be made. Okay. So there were so many difficulties in making the deferred payments during the barter system. Why? Because there was no common medium of exchange. But what has happened right now? It has become possible to make any sort of deferred payment in terms of money. Something I take from you today, I can make payment of it tomorrow in terms of money. Right? And you know, students, because of this function of money, there has emerged a strong financial system which provides the short term and long term funds to the business enterprises or to the people. That means because of this function, the function of the deferred payment, now it has become possible to borrow or to grant loans by the financial system, financial sector, and to borrow from the financial sector for consumption purposes as well as investment purposes. For both the purposes, money or capital can be borrowed, and it can be returned also with the interest. How it has happened? Because money can be used as a standard of deferred payment. Okay. The third important secondary function is transfer of value. Okay. Earlier, you know, during barter system, it was very difficult. It happened to be too much difficult to carry the value from one place to another. Right? Because if you wanted to carry something from one place to another, then also a lot of efforts you had to make for transferring the value from one place to another. But now it has become very easy and convenient to transfer the value from one place to another. If an asset you are having at one particular place or in a particular village or city, you can easily sell it and you can receive money from by selling it, and you can carry the money from the place you are living to the place you want to go. Okay, so it has now possible to carry the value in terms of money from anywhere to anywhere in the world. And because of this function, you know what has become possible? It has become possible to ensure foreign investment. Right? The multinational companies and foreign investors are investing their capital in other countries, in the foreign countries. Why? Only because of the transfer of value. They can easily transfer the value in the form of money from one country to another. Okay. So students, these were the main primary and secondary functions of money. But other than these primary and secondary functions of money, there are some other functions, contingent functions also, such as money helps in estimation of GDP of a country, such as money helps in obtaining consumers equilibrium, such as money helps in estimating producers equilibrium, such as money helps in promoting economic growth, such as money helps in facilitating banking services, and so many are other functions of money which it performs in the economy along with its primary, secondary functions. Okay, so now I would like to finish my lecture and see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.